Good day, this is Justin from the RC and Coffee YouTube channel and Facebook page. If you haven't had a chance already, please consider supporting us by subscribing to the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. Today I have the HG P408 in front of me. I'll start with the mods and the maintenance, and my first mod will be the suspension. Just like the vast majority of the HG product, this product doesn't come with dampeners. It comes with a suspension with a shock, but it is a friction shock, and again, just like most HG product, there's grease in the shock because it is a friction shock and it's to prevent wear and tear rather than to create a dampening function. So, in order to mitigate that, I came up with I figured out that drift 1/10 drift car shocks may work, and I'm not sure if it'll work because I haven't been able to complete the mod yet. It requires a bit of tweaking. I've seen it done on the HG P408 Facebook page, but I do not know yet if the people that have conducted this mod were able to get full compression. That was not my case, and technically we have the same shocks. Long story short, as I dismantle the original shocks, what I've noticed is that the piston is not perforated. This is a perforated, if I can grab it, piston. There's holes in it which enable the fluid to go from one end of the reservoir to the other end, which creates the dampening motion. That is not the case in there. So you can put as much grease and as much oil as you want in there. There's no dampening function there. At most you will probably get a little bit of suction, as I've noticed, but it is absolutely not a dampening motion, and so there's absolutely no point in doing that with the stock shocks. So to get back to my drift car suspensions, the problem with those, even though they're very close in length to the stock ones, is that the little bracket there is too short to be able to fully fit inside the socket here. I don't know if you can see, but there's a socket in which the suspension is jammed, and that requires a fairly long piece there. I'm not sure what this part is called, but it requires a fairly long one to be able to get in there without restricting the shock motion. And that's the issue that I had. When I installed this, it did fit, but my shock was already pre-compressed, which means I didn't have full travel. So what I did in order to mitigate that, I took the piston shaft and shortened it by cutting a little bit of the threaded part. I didn't do it enough and I wasn't able to get full compression. I'll try again. I'm not sure if it'll work, but I'm going to try by cutting this bit here, keeping just enough so that there's a bit of grip to be able to screw this on. But besides that, I'll leave it as is. Now, if this option doesn't work, what I'll be doing is I'll try to double up the shocks. That I've seen done, but again, I'm not entirely sure how people have been able to do that without blocking the original shock, simply due to the geometry. Long story short, what they've done, they take one of these, they remove the spring, and they just use the piston to get a dampening motion. And they use the spring of the original shock to get the spring motion. So that way they have a complete and properly functioning shock system with a spring setup and a dampening setup. They installed the dampening setup with the piston at the front. I'm not entirely sure how they've done that, because you need a bit of lateral movement to be able to follow the outwards movement that the wheel does as it's compressed up. Well, because the truck is upside down or down. So I'm not sure how they were able to do that. I added a little, not sure how to call that. It's basically a screw with a ball there to get a bit of a motion to be able to flex sideways and horizontally and vertically. We'll see how that works, but that's another way of going about it. I have not conducted those mods fully. I'm playing with it. If you've done it, please let me know, give me tips and tricks. If I do manage to complete that one, I'll let you know. But those are the two ways that I see that could potentially work in order to get a proper suspension on this otherwise beautiful truck. Besides that, what I'll do, I'll be going through every single differentials, the transmission, putting really thick oil, or grease. I do not recommend that you lock these simply because it's a very heavy truck, and the probability of breaking axles with weight is a lot higher. So for myself, I'll probably put 20 million weight oil or a really thick grease, and that'll be it. So that's for the HG P408. Again, if you have comments, you have tips and tricks, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much.